Hello everybody, welcome back to Exploring the Black Country. Didn't think I'd be doing this one's on my local doorstep. So I'm heading to somewhere quite interesting just down by me. A lot of history. In this area many years ago was so different. This is actually George Road. And all this was once all fields, believe it or not. Imagine years ago looking over the fields, it would have extended further to the back. And you'd have had down onto here, there's actually new houses now. All these here, this was actually part of one industry, factory unit onto here. I would believe that before 2008, when I moved into that, I remember actually seeing it. I think it was before that date actually. All this wasn't here, these new houses. But down here we've got the Starbridge Road. As many of you may know, the Starbridge Road would have been different. Years ago you've had James Grove and Sons down the bottom. Of course, many of you might remember the Samson and Lion pub, which is now Tesco Express, which is further down there. Picture one for you now. You'd have had many years ago when the coal mines were operating, Whitley Colony, right the way down the bottom, and much more. You see all the industry changes over many years, but this is actually on my doorstep, George Road. And looking at the pictures online, it is crazy to think how much it has really changed. A lot of the Starbridge Road, halesowen, down the bottom towards when you get to the town, all that's changed there. It's really crazy when you think about it. So where we're heading is over the road to the Scrolls, Hawne Park. Let's go make our way over. So right, this is the Scrolls, just right away here. So about the road it is very busy, but this is actually called Hawne Park, where you got all the fields over to here. But that's what I was on about, that factory unit which was on the corner. Would have had the Samson and Lion pub just on the corner where Tesco Express is. And this is actually a really nice walk. It's just on the doorstep to come down, walk onto these fields. We've had a bit of snow this morning, so it has been really cold. I've just been waiting for it to actually clear up to come down and could have this nice walk. Hawne Park was actually once part of Hawne Bank Farm. At the back where the Hawne lands is, just over there, there's been a big massive farm. As many of you may know, seen pictures on the internet maybe somewhere of this. Hawne Bank Farm was just near to the back over there. If I zoom in, you might just be able to see it is a little bit windy. But that was Hawne Bank Farm. So all this would have been the farmland to it many years ago. Panning all the way down, just to right down to there, that would have actually been a stream. There would have been a stream that run down there, a spring where the houses are further over the back. But you can just see how big all this land is together. We've got a big field. And it is really great just to see that most of this land hasn't been taken back by houses, because halesowen at one point was very small. I mean, all these houses over many years just sprung up out of the middle of nowhere because the demand for housing began to increase after the war. So much of the streets like George Road started to appear. A lot of the ones at the back where Whitley Colony is, all of that got taken back by houses when the coal mine was actually knocked down. But it would have been nice to see what halesowen really looked like back in those days when it was much more smaller and all the fields. But like I say, it is a shame things like that do vanish and all those fields many years ago. As you may know, factories, most of the old factories are gone. James Grove and Sons on the Starbridge Road. How my granddad used to work for them many years ago. Well, that's amazing to see how that was really a farmland, the Hawnelands, which is back up Carroll Crescent over onto the corner. So that's Carroll Crescent running along there, going all the way down. So we'll just pop a few photos on for you now so you can just see there was a spring further at the back down there. So that spring would have run where the houses are. Just on the corner where it comes to Starbridge Road, just opposite Tesco, that spring would have come down and into these fields. Don't know if the spring is really still there. Not sure if there's any evidence if it actually used to run through where the houses are. I did see it on the maps, a very old 1800s maps. But yeah, let's go and check out down there. We're going to walk through some nice woodlands. So it is a really beautiful place, Hawne Woodland, which is at the back of Hawne Park. So you may have remembered what I was mentioning earlier, how you had Hawne Bank Farm situated right on top of the hill where the houses are and the Hornlands. And there is quite a lot of wildlife down here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It is quiet at times, but you do hear quite a lot of wildlife, robins, bit of blue tits, blackbirds. I've seen some buzzards down here. It's a very odd place to have buzzards, but it is near to the Whitley fields, which is over the back, so it allows wildlife to cross from one point to the other. It is relaxing, I do love it. So it is really muddy over here because we've had quite a lot of snow over the last 2 days. A lot of rain over the night as well. Just down onto it is a little stream, I will show it you. And you've got some sort of like storm drainage just down onto it, which runs right way down to the bottom to connect into that stream. Let's quickly go and show it you. But the woodland expands further back. There's multiple paths you can take. Got one path which will take you all the way to where New Hawne Colliery is, just further over the back. And you imagine coal mining was also another big industry back in the days surrounding this area. You had New Hawne Colliery, Whitley Colony, Timber Tree Colliery, which is further over the back. Further on now, so you can just see Timber Tree Colliery and where it was. So there was a housing estate just onto there where the coal mine actually was. But just coming further down, this is quite amazing. There's a lot of water running through there, you can just hear it. I ain't going to go over there just to show you the wall, but you can just see the wall where the storm drain is leading all the way down. So it is nice, you've got the valley section right away up there. Got some houses just up to the top, and in the early 1800s to 1900s, some of those houses wouldn't have actually been there. You've actually got some other things at the back. You would have had an old brickwork, because it was actually disused after a certain part. And you've got Drew's Forge. There was a Methodist church just down onto the corner down to it near where the woodland is. I will show you where about that was. A few old buildings down the Belle Vale. Many of you actually may know about Clancy's, the old factory up there. Most of the new children raised and brought up won't know about that factory. It was going back a few years ago when it was actually there and operating. Now a new housing complex just onto there next to the sewage plant. So you just see quite a lot of old stuff that does pipe up along there. You've even got old mineral lines for the Whitley Colliery. There was actually a bridge which I'll show you when I go further down. I will show you where Whitley Colliery was actually situated. But this is so cool just to see this stream. You can imagine quite a lot of wildlife does appear into places like this. I can just see a bit of wildlife now. That's cool, it's all like cut out there, still got the stream. It does remind me a bit of the River Stour, which is on that other corner. So basically the other walk, which is next to the big Corngreaves Hall, which is right away at the back, you've got the walk which goes along the river there. There actually used to be a tramway there many years ago when Hawne Colliery was actually operating. Picture on of the map so you can just see the tramway leading from that coal mine. So that would have gone all the way past to Timber Tree, so it would leaked into Timber Tree Colliery to link into one line. There was a tramway somewhere there many years ago once more to lead to Hawne Basin. So that would have gone all the way there to serve coal for that basin to load onto boats. So it doesn't appear on the maps that I can see a tramway there, but there actually used to be one to get to that basin. Because there is a lot of history on Hawne Basin talking about that mine many years ago, how it served for that part, and coal was actually loaded onto there. So right, this is actually where I believe the Methodist chapel was actually situated, on this land here. So you can just see a bit of very old brick wall onto that corner. So there is a photo on for you now, so you can just see what the Methodist church actually looked like. Really old, and that was actually in the early 1900s. Didn't survive much after that date. It was actually demolished, along with some more houses which was further down the bottom, which was also demolished on Belle Vale. It's a shame to see much of this really does get lost, and you know, old history like that, imagine if it was actually still here, would be amazing still just to see. So I believe in it was actually on this land onto this corner. So we've only got to go round now, and where the old Clancy's site is just down that bottom. Right, just coming around this corner, all these houses here which you can just see now, all this new housing complex, that was actually known as Clancy's. It's a big massive like industry just onto there. But I mean, I always remember that factory when I was younger, and I remember actually seeing the whole factory there, even when it was derelict. I remember all the windows smashed onto the corner. There was a big office block where these big ones are at the moment. There's a big office block there. I do remember it. It's actually called Clancy Way, the road, so they've actually named the road after the factory. So if I just show you, it does say Clancy Way further down the bottom on that road. And then coming down, even more old history. Wow, what's happened to this? All the walls give way. That's crazy. And then just there, Corngreaves Hall I think it's called, and that is really old. So the Corngreaves Hall in front dates back to the Hayden family, which lived in the Hayden Hall, which is further at the top. Mr. Hayden Best, he actually was born in that place many years ago when he was actually living around in this area. He was actually born there. So you can just see much more history down to there. I will just show you the gates to it. There we go, there's the gates to the Corngreaves Hall leading right away at the top. And here's what I was on about earlier, this is the path what goes over across. You've got the River Stour on the corner, and I will just show the old bridges where the viaducts used to come across for the tramway for New Hawne Colony. So you just see the River Stour down there, very flooded over at the moment. It's got a horrible colour to it, but it's just down the bottom down here what I want to show you, so it is only a short walk. I mean, this place is actually one of my favourites in the area, because you just see you've got much more wildlife even in this section. It's really flourishing with wildlife. And then you've got Hayden Hall Park, which is right away at the top, another interesting place that I've showed you before. Coming even further down, it's just literally onto the corner. You can just see some old brick wall evidence of more things here. So there would have been something there many years ago. You can just see that old brick wall. And then this is what I'm on about. Something here. So was there an old walkway bridge leading from one side to the other, going back age and age ago when the colliery was actually operating? Might be. So right, I'm guessing this was actually the viaduct, because what you can just see here is a big massive brick wall which looks like it would have come all the way across, just right there. It would have been a bit more higher than what it should have been, and there would have been like a tramway leading right away above us, so it would have gone underneath, allow you to walk underneath it. If I just quickly show you why I believe this was actually here compared to the maps, because if we go further to the back, it shouldn't take too long. It's a very old brick wall just appearing from nowhere, which has got a bit of height to it. So I'll just show you there. This is actually where that old tramway would have gone all the way across. Then it would have gone from here, led to the further from the side of the back of Corngreaves Hall, in a loop all the way around. You'd have had the line to Timber Tree Colliery, and it would have carried straight on somewhere down that way. I don't know where about it actually did lead to, but it was one big line. But that's actually where the tramway was actually situated down onto here. So I thought I would come down to show you that, because it ties into the history of the collieries, because I am going to go and show you where Whitley Colony was and all the old photos of it. But it's really interesting to see much old industry which is actually still there from like old remains of things. So right, wait for the car to go past. Here's a photo for you to study, so I'll put it on for you now. Of a map telling you where all the old things was down this road many years ago. You got Drew's Forge, some things in the Starbridge Road, Whitley Lodge. There's no Brickworks coming up very soon. You got the that's Shelton Inn. The Shelton Inn, I will show you where possibly that was. I'll give it a roughly good guess. An overflow, so there is another water system running on the side. I have seen that, it is actually still there. Going further down, you've got the mineral line where it would have run over. I will show you that in a little bit actually. And then further down, that's actually where Holloway Pool was. Many of you may have seen some more photos. Here's one for you now of Holloway Pool. Very quite interesting. And Drew's Forge is quite interesting. It says spade and shovel just onto there. But you can just see how big Whitley Colony actually was. I'll take you over the housing estate just to show you. But let's go and show you the first things down onto the corner, which is the Shelton Inn and the Brickworks. So right, just coming right the way down, let's pad around. You've got Crimond Rise, which is on the corner. Either there or there, that was actually the Shelton Inn. I actually have no idea what the Shelton Inn actually was, whether it was like a small B&B. I actually really have no idea. Let's go and show you where about it actually was. So I'm guessing it was actually just onto the corner here. On this corner where these houses, I'm on that corner. I think those are really old there. They've got a bit of an old date to those, so could it have been on there? But walking further down, I'll try and picture where it is. There was a big brickworks, a very old brickworks on this corner where I'm pointing to. So right, that is the brickworks over there, what you can just see. You can just see the old brick walls, but it was actually there many years ago in someone's garden. There's far back brick walls. I think it is there. I'm not going to zoom in because I don't want to invade people's privacies. But it was over them back gardens over there, because it was situated like on a big hill. Just over there, I don't be able to see it, what I'm looking at. Just there, it was on that ground there where it goes a bit of a steep up. You can see on the old maps there was like a bit of an hill point, so I think it was there. As you can just see, coming even further down, still got that overflow just leading right away down there. So it is cool to see the overflow is still there from the old days, especially on that map how it said that. But what's interesting, many people might think, what is this when they come down? This bridge coming up in a minute, where the old remains of it would have gone from one side to the other, is actually the coal mine mineral railway for Whitley Colony. Let's go and show it you. So right, what you can just see there, that is actually the bridge for the mineral railway. The very old coal mine what was serving many years ago, Whitley Colony. Old brick wall, so it would have come across, and I'm guessing would have led straight opposite by just checking over that way over there, so it would have gone somewhere at the top. So I'm guessing it would have bent round, and whether it would have joined up to the other mineral line that come from Hawne Colony. Well, that is really cool to still see that is actually still remaining. So if you wonder what that is, map on for you now, so I can just show you that line. So you just see where it runs over the belle vale down the bottom. That's actually what that is. So if I just cross the road, quickly cross over, you can just see a better view of it from the bottom. And you've got two connection parts there, so maybe that would have been supports leading out to something. Right away around the corner, I'm not sure if you can get up there, so have a quick check out. No, it doesn't. I don't think you can get to the top of it, but I imagine there might be some rail lines still left up to there. I'll have a quick check out. Don't know where it even leads to. Yeah, you're not nowhere you're gonna get up there. But you can just see all the old coal. It looks very cold here, all the way to the top. Look how steep that even is. And then just checking a bit further at the bottom, you can just see some more walls. Look at these old brick walls here. Some more evidence the rail line did go over here. That is so steep up. It's a shame I can't get up there to show it, yeah. But yeah, it does run into people's back gardens further over the back. Somewhere up there, there's some really old sheds, and over that land, that's actually where Drew's Forge was. The back house is over there. I think there is an old gate going up to something. I'll go and check it out a bit later on so you can assess what it could be. But what we'll do now is go and check out where Whitley Colony was. I might go and check out what that is first. There is some really old gates leading to something. Check that out and we'll go and check out Whitley Colony. But enjoy the rest of the cinematics. These are photos from Belle Vale and Holloway Pool. Oh, I've made it. Big steep walk up. The thing what I'm thinking about isn't a part of that forge, so I'm not going to go and have a look at it. I think Drew's forge was situated more on this side, but I did see a gate with an old building at the back. I have no idea. So what I'm doing is just showing you where Whitley Colony was actually situated. All this house and estate here, what you can just see, was the coal mine. So you can just see that map on for you once more of where we are. You can just see all the colliery, got some round things, got the big buildings, and where the shaft was actually situated. Let's go and find out where the shaft was right away on top on this housing estate. I've never been down here before. This is the first time I've ever gone to check this out. I'm just going to go this way. So was this where the shaft was actually situated? Let's get maps back up and have a look. Yep, this is it. This is actually where the shafts were actually situated for Whitley Colony, right the way here. You can see we're actually standing on top of a coal mine, and evidence of that, if I just pan down, you can just sort of see the road going like at an incline, and it gets really higher up as it goes up to there. The main shaft buildings would be where the houses are, and the houses are back up to there. That's actually where that was. But it's really cool to still see that the land is being used by, you know, houses now, what was once industry. Imagine our corn colliery's just been left there for many years and nothing's been done with the land. But it's like I say, it's still nice to still see that old industry there. But photos on thing else, so you can just see Whitley Colony. I mean, how old it is, it's just really amazing just to see it on photo. I've been searching for years for this, so there you go. There's the photos of Whitley Colony in case you was interested. Really quite cool. And you've got this road leading up to here. Don't know what's even further up. Let's go and check it out. So whether we all like bend round to where I was on the back where the shafts was. Let's go and check it out. When you can see even walking up how it goes like on that incline. Nice little street. I just wondered how to get to this. I've always wondered where it was. It's at the back of Whitley Avenue, which is over there. So whether the road at the back does lead to this. And see what this is here. So yeah, as you can just see, Millfield View. That's actually where the shafts was. So just about where I was pointing, it was that house there. Between that house at the back and that house there was where the shafts were actually on top of. It would have the big wheel. So like on that photo, that's where the shafts would have been situated. So right, what a video that. Just going down there, checking out the bottom. A bit on the doorstep. I can't believe I actually walked all that to show you that. I never even thought about it. So yeah, from me, Drew, exploring the Black Country. I will see you again soon. The Midlands Outdoors out.